1994, Motley Crue. What an epic platter of nothingness. This album came out at a time when grunge and new forms of like music were coming out left and right. And these guys figured, hey, let's ditch our signature sound, especially Meg Mars, and let's join the grunge parade. And that is just one of the worst things a band can do, honestly. Like, if you build up years and years your own brand and your own like base of fans, and then you basically like do a 180 or 360, whatever floats your boat, and you start to please people by hopping on trends instead of creating trends, you're not going to be 100% the original vehicle that you once were able to be. People can hear right through the facade of a band, uninspired and lacking in vitality. And you can tell when people have lost their mojo, so to speak, like their authentic, real talent, that their own original brand talent that they created, and they lose it for whatever reasons, or because they have the pressure either from the record companies, or the pressure comes from them themselves and say, we need to conquer these new people, the new influx of music fans or hard rock fans, and they just want this really kind of like homogenized FM radio grunge thing, and it sounds so hollow, shallow, and everybody says, oh, great production, and it's so heavy, the drums sound really awesome. Like, yeah, maybe the drums do sound awesome, but what's really important in music, especially in heavy metal, what's really important is the songwriting. That's what catapulted Motley Crue to the top. Right from the start, 1982 or 81, I can't remember, Two Pounds for Love, all those were great songs. The production it wasn't bad at all. For some people that are very picky with the production, they could probably say, oh, the first album is shit production, whatever, who cares? The songs is what matters. And in 1994, with Corabi's very generic, he has a good voice, but he's very, like middle of the road, generic kind of like personality and sound. Like, even when you look at him, he just looks like a regular dude, a regular rock fan. And he doesn't stand out in any way. Maybe he should have like dyed his hair blonde or something. I don't know. Put on some wild makeup, or I don't know. It's just, to me, that wasn't Motley Crue. That was just like some unknown band that came out of nowhere and had a video, and it's not my Motley Crue, and I was a huge fan, and I really don't understand why there's so many people out there praising this album, when in reality it's just, it sucks. It's nothing, like I said, there's nothing memorable about it. The songs all come in and they do their momentary fix of like, oh, I'm listening to hard rock, and then they're gone, and then you don't remember a single phrase or anything. Nothing stands out from Mick's guitar playing. It's just very grungy and loud maybe, but there's no hooks, there's no like little leads that stick in your brain, nothing like the 80s Crue. And I really don't understand. There's a lot of people that say this is their best album, and that obviously means to me that those people were not Motley Crue fans in the 80s, because it sounds like blasphemy to me. So I don't understand all these people. All these people, maybe they're just like FM radio junkies, and they just love anything that is spoon-fed from the radio stations, because they can't like really think for themselves, and they don't really seek out quality music and quality stuff. All they know how to do is obey the corporate mainstream mandates, like Motley Crue. So I feel like I was siding with Vince when he left the band in 1992, even in the movie he says it. He says, you know, if this material was any good, then I would come and practice more with you guys. But this is, I don't agree with it. He said he called it total bullshit, and I totally agree with him. I don't always agree with Vince, because he did say that Theater of Pain is there's nothing really there for him. Like, he didn't really dig that album either. And you know, I don't know what other people think, but I thought it was great. I thought it was very bluesy, and you know, it was a little bit more commercial. Obviously, they lost the satanic edge, and obviously on purpose. Like the single is "Home Sweet Home," and a cover song, "Smoking in the Boys' Room," and it's like, it's catchy, great video. They put a lot of money into it. It's fun. It was a fun period. You know, I of course I wanted another Shout at the Devil, but you know, I'm not going to complain, because it was an enjoyable album with, you know, pretty good compositions. Mick Mars did a great job. You know, he did very memorable leads and memorable riffs, and his tone was perfect. It was great for 1985. I was a happy camper, and so on. Like, then they came out with Girls, Girls, Girls. That was a lot more filler. Of course, they were going through a lot of heroin and drug use and partying, so it's understandable. They started to fade with me. And then, you know, Dr. Feelgood, of course, everybody loved that. It's a little overproduced by Bob Rock, of course. But, you know, what really stood out were the songs, the compositions. Again, mixed guitar tones, his, you know, dedication, and his solos, his little leads, and his little, you know, quips, his little guitar licks here and there. A memorable album. I don't listen to it that much because it's a little too commercial and it's a little too overproduced, like I said. But you have to admit it. It is a pretty damn good hard rock album, and it deserves its praise and its place in history for the band. But after that, you know, after the grunge explosion and everything else that went on, they just weren't able to write good songs anymore. And I totally lost interest in the band entirely because of what they did with Karabi. And I figured, no, this band is done. And I'm moving on to other things. I'm going to go listen to Ministry. I'm going to listen to Helmet, Pantera, Sepultura, you know, Rage Against the Machine, what have you. Electronic music was rising at the time too, far more interesting than the traditional FM garbage that Motley Crue did here. So, in closing, 1994 Motley Crue, I give it a 2.5 out of 10. It blows, and I never want to hear anything about it again. And I will be fighting people in the comments, in any platform that say otherwise, because I know you people are diseased in the head. 94 sucked for Motley Crue, and they should have disbanded and disappeared forever. Amen.